Once again, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, as you can tell, our colors have changed. Here we are in green. It's a sign that after all these wonderful solemnities and feasts we just celebrated these last few weekends, from the Ascension all the way down actually to this Saturday, the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Wonderful way to segue into what some people think is ordinary, but it's far from ordinary. It's very extraordinary, because this is our opportunity to begin and to start to grow, to plant, and to be more of who we were called and who we were made to be, which is Christ-like. That's why we are called Christians. Today we hear of Jesus teaching us about the kingdom of God in parables, comparing it to a mustard seed. And why is that? And what is Jesus trying to say? Parables force us to think. They force us to think, don't they? We understand much when we unravel their teaching, because they seem to be cryptic, don't they? But there is gems, there's a diamond in there, and it's up to us to chew on it and discern it. We understand much when we unravel their teaching, because knowing that parables have multiple meanings with important lessons attached to them, we pay attention. Our curiosity is piqued. We try to figure things out. I'm sure we're all familiar with some sayings, lots of sayings. We throw them around every day. But I want to focus on these two sayings and how we can journey in this ordinary time of growth by using this example of the Gospel of Mark today. Big things come in small packages. We've heard that, haven't we? Or it's in the small things. And it truly is. By no doubt. By no doubt. This is what Jesus is trying to tell us. That small things do matter. Big things do come in small packages. The lesson about the mustard seed is important because in our time today, we live in a society and a culture that places enormous value on what is big and impressive. We get excited about big ticket items. We get excited about new things, a new luxury car, or designer clothes, the latest tech item, or the newest smartphone, and we get so keyed into these things, and that's unfortunate, because small things do matter and big things do come in small packages. They matter because God uses them to build things up and increase goodness in us. They matter in the actions that we do as we live our day-to-day. Never discount the small things you can do. Words of love and support to those we know, taking a few minutes to affirm the stranger we encounter, a phone call to a friend you haven't spoken to in some time, telling them how much they missed, or a simple smile instead of a vacant stare when you pass someone on the street as you go by. These are small things, but not insignificant things, not in the least. It builds people up. And God chooses these actions of ours to shape our lives, to enrich our lives, and the lives of those others we meet with signs of love and support for one another. Through them and by them, it offers all of us, every one of us, reasons to hope in the face of so much that we encounter, specifically over the last year and so many months. We become co-partners with God to make a difference in this world. That's the response we must make to the grace that God gives us and all the blessings we receive. We know those blessings. We recognize them. Let us not ever take them for granted. And as gifts from God, let us take them and offer them to others so that they too can be graced by God's love through us. God's use of those little things that we do with love and kindness in our lives day to day become the building blocks to establishing God's kingdom here on earth. Here, today, now. There may be times when things in our lives or the lives of others seem to stall and be at a standstill and we feel stuck. There may be someone we know battling an addiction or experienced a loss or betrayal, and we've tried to help them in every way possible to resolve their difficulty time and time again without success, wondering and asking ourselves, what else could have been done? What else could I have tried to get them into whatever resolution they needed to care for their difficulty? Despite those frustrations we may encounter in situations like these, despite our failures or doubts, God is always working in silence behind the scenes to keep the ability to do things, good things, in our life and in the lives of others that we've got to come to realize as co-partners, we cannot do all things by ourselves. We must do them with God in partnership as a friend. He can take care of all impossibilities. With God, nothing is impossible, correct? Whatever we do as we go forward in our journey of faith, God is working. We may not think He is, or He's there at those particular stages in our lives when we see ourselves as not being effective, as not being Christian enough, or loving enough, or just too busy. But He's working behind the scenes with us in our desires, our attempts in resolving difficulties, and our attempts to bring reconciliation and healing to hurting wounds. We may have been trying to make peace with someone or a friend or a family member and have been doing so without success. But then one day God opens the door and something changes. We might have tried to solve a difficult problem every which way without success. And then a new opportunity comes for us to try again. And we think of a new angle. We're inspired with a new way of doing things. And we employ it. And it brings success. And we should realize at that point, it wasn't all our doing. It was a result of our relationship with Christ, with God, through our prayer and our persistence. And through that, and by that, God has given us the great gift of resolution, whether it be in our lives or in the lives of others that we try to help. God's action in our lives grows like the mustard seed we heard about today. It's a tiny seed, a speck. But once it's planted, it grows to a sizable plant. If we just take what little or what abundance we may have of God's grace in our lives and employ it, where we plant that will grow. And it will start off small, but it will grow with God's help. It will become successful. When you plant that mustard seed, what does it do? It grows. How does it grow? The planter didn't know. He just scattered that seed. God's grace. But He's observant. He's watchful. So must we. Observant and watchful. Of our actions, of our words, of the things we take into ourselves that may strip those layers of grace that God has gifted us with, that give us the ability to bring that healing that this world so needs. It is sizable, this gift of grace. It gives peace and refuge, just like that mustard plant gave shade and refuge to those birds of the air. It's comforting. Never discount doing small things in the course of your day. Offer those signs of love and support. For in each day of our lives, there are those we meet who desperately need it. On those days when things we do seem to be insignificant, don't give up. Continue to offer yourselves in love to yourselves and to others, most important. And watch God's growth in you and in those you minister to and testify and witness to mature into something big and beautiful. God bless you.